The Rashi Foundation is taking immediate action to support those affected by the war. For nearly 4 decades, this private and independent foundation has been committed to bolstering Israeli society and advancing equal opportunities, particularly in education, welfare, and employment, especially in underprivileged regions. In light of the state of emergency in Israel today, the Rashi Foundation, together with thousands of dedicated employees and numerous partners, is fully engaged in the development and implementation of educational and emotional therapy initiatives. From assisting those displaced in evacuation centers to strengthening the resilience of municipalities in the centers of the war zones, the Rashi Foundation is geared to help. The Rashi Foundation strives to provide an optimal, comprehensive, and flexible response that will reach directly to the populations and authorities that need it. This leading to the establishment of a dedicated emergency fund, investing all of its resources toward these purposes.
So we got to hear about the Rashi Foundation, and to learn some more, I have Head of Partnerships at the Rashi Foundation, Lorna Simon, here with me in studio. Lorna, great having you here with us. Have I pronounced your name right?
You have.
Great.
Thanks so much for having me.
Our pleasure. We heard so much about Rashi doing amazing work, not only during times of crisis, during times of war. What can you tell us about the main challenges you have at Rashi?
The main challenges at Rashi usually are helping the periphery balance the scales by creating opportunities in education, in social involvement, and all kinds of different ways to help create social mobility in the periphery. Today, since October 7, Rashi's been working overtime in emergency mode, and we've been evaluating the situation, mapping, and very, very quickly running on the ground with our feet in many different directions to try and deal with the human crisis at hand.
What are you really doing to deal with all the issues? I mean, the actions you're taking these days to really help with it?
So there are 200,000 refugees. There are approximately 50,000 children in those 200,000 refugees. And Rashi already, in just 1 month, has brought a framework to at least 20,000 of those children in many different ways. We've separated into categories. So for the youngest children, aged 0 to 6, we've created mobile development units. And it's basically like a gymboree in a hotel room, in
where they are,
a conference room. And we've staffed them with a very, very experienced and extensive team of staff, including physical therapists, psychologists, speech therapists, communication therapists, occupational therapists, all in there walking around watching the children behave. They can observe and they can immediately bring intervention in whatever therapy that they see is needed for those kids. The stories are just horrendous. It's unfathomable what tiny, beautiful, innocent children, or anyone, of course, for that matter, but these kids, imagine a 4-year-old who saw his mother grab a knife to try and protect the family, and whose father jumped on top of him to try and protect him from terrorists. This 4-year-old is going to need a lot of different services. There's a lot of behavioural regression. There's a tremendous amount of bedwetting that's taking place now and occurring in kids of elementary school age, older ages. It shouldn't be, at that point in their development. Some children are mute, have not spoken since October 7 and need intervention. And of course, everyone else has the same very, very worrisome sense of uncertainty and a lack of hope for their future. And what the Rashi Foundation wants to do is create a framework for them to have somewhere to go during the day that is catered to their particular development standard and needs, and who has madrachim and counsellors and teachers and staff and psychologists and a very full array of professional staff who are there for them to help them.
And really incredible. If I may tell you like a personal story, I went volunteering last week at one of the hotels with displaced families from Netiv HaSara, and there was this one girl, they needed their phone for the activity we had for them, and she didn't have her phone with her, she had her mom's phone, and I asked her, where's your phone? She was like a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, most kids in Israel have their phones from a very young age, and she told me, my phone isn't where the war is. we didn't take it, so it's really crazy to see now. Lorna, I want to ask you, from what I understand, the foundation is currently facilitating temporary education and trauma therapy for 25,000 people, right? Is that right? I mean, a logistical pretty much nightmare. Are you ready to deal with it? How are you dealing with it right now? How is it possible?
This is actually Rashi's expertise. We're very, very good at readjusting. We're very flexible, very agile. We've got very deep 40 years worth of relationships with local councils in all of Israel's periphery. And together with the local councils, we're able to create temporary solutions for all of these people. Relatively easy. Well, it's still an incredible nightmare, an incredible challenge. It's not a nightmare by any means, and we do it with full hearts, and we go there every day with tremendous sense of purpose and service. Yes. I just wanted to add, you know, I didn't finish talking about the younger children. There's a lot of violence, even among younger children, that's manifesting now.
Inside the hotels?
Inside the hotels, and a lot of regressive behaviour on many different levels. So that's the mobile units. We also have holistic education centres for children who are in elementary school. And that provides a framework for them, also a little bit of education, but most importantly, I think what it really gives them is a sense of community and a sense of support and a sense that they're there together, they're surviving this together, and there is hope. At the end of the road, there are people who care about them, and frameworks. Something very, very important that happens at the same time as we provide the framework for these children is it gives the parents a reprieve. They are exhausted on every single possible level, and they've had no time to digest for themselves where they are, what's gone on, where are they heading, and their own uncertainty, of course, is debilitating for their families and for their kids. Imagine them, all these families are in one hotel room together for such a long amount of time.
I know.
In these circumstances, not having their lives in front of them. They've been pulled away from their lives, from their homes, from their beds, from their friends, from their schools, from their every activity that they've been part of. And it's very, very important that they have a routine. And this is what we're providing. One of the other things that we're very, very proud of that we did starting last week is we created a youth centre in Eilat. In Eilat alone, there are 7,000 teenagers.
Wow.
And many of them are taken to the streets at night and engaging in very negative behaviour. That is a big, big concern.
Lorna, I think there's so many other things we'll have to deal with after, because now everyone's dealing with who's dead, and of course that's the most important thing, but so many things we'll have to deal with. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Very welcome. Thanks so much.
And we recommend everyone to know you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mit. Bye.